っていきますか。これ話せんと次々進まんのかな。めんどくせえんやけど。
So many things you are doing. Wonderful. I'm curious, what do you remember most? Good times? Bad? What? Honest now.
The best days stick with me. The wins.
That's what life is about, yes? Long time ago, I was out near the dawn gates. Stars were very bright. Rain made everything glow.
これは話のところは取れたかね。
Couldn't place it.
What was it?
Children, alone, out in the jungle, far from anything. They were singing.
Children? How did they...
You see, how could I understand this? A strider had been attacked. I brought them home. It was a miracle. Music started. Dancing started.
Saving a bunch of kids? That's a good day.
Yes, yes, a good day. But one of those children, a stranger, was holding his hand.
His parents.
Died aboard that strider. We should represent hope, but there are two sides to our job. When I celebrate my victories with great joy, I know that somewhere there is sadness too.
That must wear you down?
No, it makes my conviction stronger. What we do matters.
I don't know. Hard way to live.
Hope isn't easy. Lost and alone. Yet those children sang. You hear me?
I hear you.
Hey, what's up?
You called me?
I did. Do you have time for a chat? Or, I don't know, do you have to run off and find Faye?
You're mad.
No. Just having a little fun.
Would you tell me if you were mad?
For my business associate? It's the least I could do.
Oh, and...
Oh, come on, I'm just teasing. But anyway, I'm not mad.
Maybe I'm the one who should be mad after that stupid stunt you pulled.
Stunt?
Stealing.
Borrowing?
Borrowing that javelin.
Come on. A couple of hiccups, but overall a successful run. Tactically solid, and it all turned out great in the end.
Tactically solid. Come on, it was a mess. You were lucky I was there.
That's fair. But you have to give me some points for ballsiness.
Since it all turned out, yeah, points for sheer overconfidence.
It was fun, though. Wasn't it? And you. You were something else out there. Smashing Dominion left and right. You're fantastic.
You know, Owen, I'm never quite sure when you're being straight with me.
Ha! We'll start with probably not. It's safer that way. Come on. I'm an open book. What do you want to know?
Did you always want to be a cipher?
そこに落ちそうなんてた。
Wasn't my choice, but I have the gift. I was one of 6 kids. It made sense.
全然話がわからんから話聞いてもな。
They didn't tell me. Just dropped me off. My dad was crying, but I didn't know why.
これはほんま日本語訳す
We were poor,
す
but
る
I
べきだ
guess
で。
she was a thief, really.
How old were you?
8.
The chance to be a cipher is pretty special.
Sure. I can see where it all makes sense. I just wish they'd asked me, you know?
And what changed in you when you became a cipher?
What, you mean besides the feeling that the people I love could be one step from abandoning me for my own good? I'm kidding. You meant the thing where every cipher is a little broken. What's my broken bit? Nothing important. Doesn't matter. In the end, a cipher can hear the anthem. Hear it. The music of the gods. Who wouldn't give up almost anything for that?
You?
Oh no, I would. Anything. Anyone who says different is a liar.
Hey there. Piece of advice?
Okay, where do I start? Your temper can get to...
No, I'm saying from me to you.
Oh, Sure. What have you got?
This fight with the monitor? Burn it into your brain. Someday it'll be the good old days. The legend that gets freelancers excited. And reminds you what badass feels like.
Thanks, Alec, but I've got badass covered already.
Ha! Listen to you.
Just saying.
Saying ain't the same as doing. Old man Halleck here defined badass. The rogue Ursix that terrorized Shadow Gap Trench? I put the final bullet in its brain. Or the Battle of Wyvern Horde at Indigo Vale? I was there.
Yeah? What was it like?
A dozen freelancers dropped in from above. Down a sheer cliff, landed in a circle on an outcropping. Nothing but death below. No margin for error. Had to surround them. 12 pairs of boots hit the ground in unison. 12 guns started blazing. And a bunch of Wyvern died wishing they never met a freelancer. It was magnificent.
All right, I'll give you that one. Pretty impressive.
Badass.
Sure. Until I redefine badass.
Hasn't happened yet.
You'll see. Later, Alec.
What are the chances that Matthias will spend his time writing a paper now?
Ah, freelancer. I'm finishing up a few stories for the wall.
This a bad time?
No, good time. The task is better with company. This is not the Grand Wall of Freemark, but it's a good start.
Why do you do this? The wall, the stories, all of it. For the history books?
I'm not that vain. Well, not about these things. You never saw the Grand Wall, eh? Oh, people came from every corner of Bastion to see it. They read our stories. They believed in us.
I never saw that. That was a different world.
You sound like my friend, the one I lost. Yes? He could be a stormy sky.
We need rain.
Ha! That is the truth. He would never let me forget it.
You mentioned he was a freelancer.
That's right. Garnet. Freelancer Garnet. His call sign suited. Tough, that one. Strong. But one day, he didn't come home.
What happened?
I don't know. Not all of it. Not where he fell. You see, I have his name. But not his story. This pains me.
He was beyond the wall, making things better. The details don't matter.
Of course. I know this. Just... it pains me.
Someone was counting on him to be there. And he was.
That is why I send you out there to pay your respects. To gather stories for our wall. Maybe one day, you bring his story back. That Matthias got his book, I hear. Seems a lot of trouble for a book. But who am I to talk of strange hobbies?
Hey, buddy. You're getting it done out there.
You saying that in general, or...?
Owen's quick to brag. Not that you haven't earned it, right?
I couldn't do this without Owen.
Keep it up and they'll be talking about us all over Bastion. You're raising our name. We're getting more offers. I've started color-coding the ledgers. It's beautiful.
What about you? Any exciting jobs? Besides paperwork?
Remember that job my buddies and I took? Dealing with local wildlife.
How'd it go?
We fly out to where there's been reported attacks. The fort sends word they lost contact with some sentinels nearby. It's quiet. No one's saying it, but we haven't seen this patrol, and we're all thinking it.
Please tell me this has a happy ending.
You're in luck. We find the sentinels backed into a cave. They're surrounded by scorpions. We start to divide and conquer. This sentinel rookie with a cracked faceplate mentions they've got explosives. I keep the scorpions away while he sets it up. I don't know what happened, but we get a fire instead of a boom, so I yell, "Work with it!" Next thing I know, we've got the sentinels back, and the rookie's explaining to Vool why he's down half an eyebrow.
Do all your missions go like this?
Like what?
Oddly upbeat?
Sad story corner can wait for another day.
You took a risk.
Don't we all? Well, maybe not on the paperwork. Speaking of which...
I'll leave you to it.
He's been building it himself. Fixing it, I mean.
Maybe the problem isn't mechanical.
He can't use the gateway.
Not the first time that would have happened.
やべやべ、寝落ちしとった。
Hi again, Mora. How's business?
How do you think?
Fruit sales have been peaking?
Please don't patronize me, freelancer. You know that's not the case. I'm thinking of selling my plans for an indoor farm. Not for very much, but enough for now.
Before you do that, I met someone recently. A woman named Lian.
The baker. Where did you meet her exactly?
その辺おらんかった？
The bar?
I thought so.
She's been hit by the grain shortage too. Her bakery shut down.
I know. She was a great customer. Came by a lot. I really liked her, but she's been wasting away in that bar since her bakery shut down.
Everyone deals with hard times differently. She's got some resources left over. The last remnants of her bakery.
I don't know. She's changed.
This could be a solution for both of you.
She's been irresponsible with her funds. I rarely see her sober. I'd be letting her have half my idea. And what if my farm fails? I'd be responsible for losing what Lian has left.
All fair points.
I have to think about this. Freelancer? What would you do?
Forming a partnership with Lian is risky. Maybe too risky. The choice is yours, ultimately. But if I were you, I would sell the idea.
I understand what you're saying, freelancer. And I appreciate the advice. It'll break my heart to part with the idea. And for so little, but it's probably the safest thing.
I'm glad you see where I'm coming from.
I need to think about this. I'll see you around, freelancer.
See you, Mora.
I just don't think you're whack.
career-focused to waste time on romance. Especially not with the final power roaming free.
Hey, Bryn. What are you up to?
Yo, Freelancer, I didn't hear you come up. With our beacons back up, I can track the scars around the fort again. The Arcanists seem happy with the info they're getting, too.
Info about scars that might keep me up at night?
They've been trying to avoid details. Some things you just can't unlearn.
So, what is it?
Oh, right. I'm not used to explaining myself. I'm trying so many new things lately.
Slow and steady.
I only know part of what the Arcanists have learned. But they say, one day, it could help to eliminate the scars entirely. Anyway, this means we have more work ahead of us.
You and I have made a solid team so far.
Keep it up, and my superiors might actually give me permission next time.
What's life without a few exciting complications?
Organized, understandable, calm.
Sounds awful.
I'll let you know if I need you, Freelancer.
I think of your department as the bowels of our fort.
You must be right. Yarrow said I'd find you here.
Yeah. You're the one who flew in with a hail of bullets and flaming glory.
Correct? That was me.
Well, right on, big star. That was something to see. Backed up into that tunnel, trying to keep those Arcanists ticking. It got tense. I mean, I was looking forward to using Nellie on those cockroaches.
Nellie?
My sword. Helps me perform my community service. Figured she saved my butt so many times. She should get a name.
You seem to be recovering nicely.
I got 2 working fists. One for punching, one for drinking. That's all I need. So, I'm guessing you're here to stay. You've been keeping to yourself, but I've seen you around.
There's work, yeah. I get the impression business is picking up.
Been tough for a while. Couple of weeks, I was barely scraping by. But man, there's nothing like being a freelancer, right? So hey, thanks for showing up when you did. I owe you one.
Glad it worked out.
Anyway, I'm probably still bleeding somewhere. Should get that fixed. I'll see you around, big star.
Look who's back! How's the frontier treating you, freelancer?
Keeps me on my toes. Tell me something. How hard is it to get Fortuo brew out here?
That's the wrong question. What you want to ask is, what's it cost, and when would it get here? You know how far it is to Fortuo?
Off the top of my head, no.
Damn far. By Strider takes 2 months to make the trip. Longer if there's trouble. And there's always trouble.
Okay, so what would it cost?
You want to do some business? All right then. I need to send a couple of messages off the record. Your cipher helps me out. I get your brew.
Done. I don't think Faye will mind. Especially since it's for Yarrow.
The trick is not to buy from Fortua. Just find someone who already imported it. Chasing down collectors and private reserves is like herding rabbits. But I'll get it.
How's the bar treating you?
Still around and kicking, so can't be that bad. Keep your head out there, freelancer.
Looks like this is your lucky day.
Why is that?
You just bumped into the oldest man in Fort Tarsis. Name's Jarek.
Nice to meet you.
You too. You know, you don't live as long as I have without seeing some things.
Yeah? Like what?
I was there when the scars swarmed the fort's terraces. It was a bloodbath. Happened over 50 years ago, and it feels like yesterday. I was also there when the scars came over the walls. What do you think about that?
I think you've seen a lot.
You bet I have. More than you ever will, that's for sure.
I hope you're right.
Oh, I am, freelancer. I've lived a life filled with bloodshed and disaster. I've survived Strider ambushes, Dominion attacks and outlaws. I've even run from wyverns. I've seen enough death to last 50 lifetimes. And yet, somehow, I'm still kicking.
So, what's your secret to survival?
It ain't no secret. I'm a pragmatist. I always did what I had to in order to survive.
I'm sorry. You must have lost many people along the way.
You got that right. I've outlived every friend I ever had. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right choices. I was in a mining crew digging for ore near Heliost when the main shaft collapsed. We were trapped behind a solid wall of rock. We had no idea of how long it would take for the rescue party to dig us out. I was lucky enough to find a bottle of water. But there were 6 of us.
1 bottle of water for 6 miners? How many of you made it out?
I was the only survivor.
You're tough as nails. That's why you're still alive.
I guess so.
You guess? How else does 1 man live while 5 perish?
I just did what I had to do.
Yeah, and you were lucky.
I sure was.
I guess you need at least a little good fortune to become the oldest man in Fort Tarsis.
In some ways, I am lucky. You cheered me up, freelancer. Thank you.
You're welcome, old-timer.
Maybe next time we meet, I'll tell you how I survived the massacre on the terraces.
Strider arrived last week, barely.
Hello, welcome to Uncle Monty's.
Hi, Serna.
We've got some excellent compounds that could be useful for a freelancer.
Yeah?
Yep. You know why I'm mad at you, right?
Could you remind me?
You didn't want to hear about my baby Koroks. That hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. I was rushed last time. Do I get another chance?
Yeah, I can't stay mad at you. I'll tell you about my baby Tesselar.
So this isn't about the Koroks.
No, that was then, this is now. Okay, you know how Tessellars are super cute but can electrocute you, right?
Okay.
Alright, so I got a couple of freelancers to capture a baby Tesselar for me.
How did you make that happen?
They owed my Uncle Bonnie a favor, but that's not the point. By the time I opened the cage door, it was dead. It was so sad and sweet, I had to give it a goodbye hug. But it was actually only sleeping, because it yawned, opened one eye, then zapped me.
Wow, what did that feel like?
Kind of like a static shock, times a billion.
Are you okay?
Sure. I mean, I still get the tingles, but my vision is clearing up, so it's all good. You know, you kind of remind me of a Tesselar.
I do?
Yeah, I think it's the way you walk. Hey, maybe check out our fancy compounds before you go.
Sure.
You know it's okay to drop in whenever you like, right? You know, for crafting stuff or whatever.
Are you in shock for some sort of who can be the bigger hero contest? That's the third episode of Pro Possessed from Scars this week. When I first came here, there were 5
Do I smell Manticore?
I'm sure you do. You should try it sometime.
Regretfully, I have. I've been looking for you, freelancer.
Why does it feel like you want something?
Because I do.
Do you ever get tired of being a spy?
Sometimes, but what's truly tiring is being called a spy.
So if you're not a spy, then what are you?
I'm an intelligence agent. Now that I've answered your question, I've got one for you. Tell me what happened in the Heart of Rage.
Thanks, but I'll take a pass on the quiz.
The Dominion is going back into the storm. I need your help. If there's anything you can recall...
It was 2 years ago. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't blame you. Some memories can be very painful.
I didn't say that.
Call it a hunch. When you returned to the fort, you resumed freelancing almost immediately.
It's what I do.
And you do it well. Very few people survived that mission. And everyone who did suffered physical or psychological wounds. Except you.
What can I say? I was lucky.
I don't doubt it. Combat always has an element of chance.
Yeah, like you now.
Make no mistake, freelancer. I may not pilot a javelin, but I have seen combat. I've lost friends.
Have you been wounded?
Yes. I have.
So you think I should be dead or at least messed up, right?
I do.
Sorry for being so healthy. Are you disappointed?
No, I'm actually impressed. Your stability makes you a formidable asset.
You're cold. You know that, right?
I don't expect you to like me, but you should trust me.
Maybe we can both work on the trust thing.
I'll be in touch.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, would you just look at the market lately? It's so sad to see the empty stalls.
What do you think would make that kind of... Hey, good to see you. You're a freelancer, right?
I think you knew that.
I never assume. Like, I'm a laundryman now, right? But not very long ago, I was a cleaning guy. I figured you were like me, always on the move.
We're not that alike.
Sure we are. Anyway, you know Yarrow, right? That super old freelancer?
Sure, I know Yarrow.
You think you know him, but did you hear about him and the Tesselar?
No, but I have a feeling you're gonna tell me.
Yes. So, I guess a long time ago, he was guarding some families, and a kid got too close to a Tesselar burrow. It all happened so fast that to save the child's life, Yarrow had no choice but to choke the Tesselar to death with his bare hands.
But Tesselars emit an electrical charge. Yarrow would have at least been knocked out.
Yeah, but I guess he held on, even though he was unconscious.
Why wasn't he in his javelin?
I think it was really hot out.
Javelins compensate for temperatures.
You know, you're wrecking this story, right?
I was just trying to understand how he did it.
Trust me, he did it, okay? That's why he talks so funny.
He does?
Yeah. Have you ever talked to him?
Yes.
You have? I tried to once, but he was too busy. Hey, do you have time for lunch?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, we're both so busy, huh? So, all right, I'll see you around.
Hello. Nothing new for you yet, freelancer.
Good. Come to pay your respects at last?
I guess I have.
My name is Zara Toll, but you may call me Madam Chronicler. Everyone does.
Okay, Madam Chronicler.
You do know that I'm your cipher's point of reference, that I provide information via amplifier for your library.
Actually, I wasn't aware that was a thing.
That's curious. It's fairly common knowledge. Oh, maybe you have amnesia.
I don't have amnesia.
Did you rattle your head or inhale some toxic spores?
Not enough to give me amnesia.
If you say so, my dear. But what news? Anything to report from your travels?
I saw some unusual shaper ruins where waterfalls were flowing up.
My goodness, I hope that was archived by your cipher, Ewan.
Do you mean Owen?
That's what I said. Or did I? Pardon me, a chronicler's mind is easily overfilled. But as my esteemed mentor Negandel used to say, the occasional confusion is a cipher's burden.
Maybe you have amnesia.
You're jovial, but most freelancers are. Maybe too much.
Not sure I follow.
I talk to cities and ciphers far and wide. They all say the same thing. Freelancers have lost their way.
I haven't lost my way.
And I'm glad for that. You know, you'd be a wonderful sentinel.
And just stand guard all day?
Food for thought. Which brings me to my duty. A chronicler must pass along collected knowledge, that humanity may build upon its learnings.
Learnings? Oh, you mean reading.
What would you enjoy? Hard news or something more escapist?
News, please. Good to know what's going on.
I must agree, especially in these trying times. May you learn that all may learn, that all may grow.
Thank you. Catch you later, Madam Chronicler.
But catch me, what am I, a grabbit? Good day.
Never die.
So, what are you after today?
Matthias Sumner. Is he really banned from the bar?
That Arcanist? Oh yeah. Technically, he's not allowed within half a click, but the fort's not that big.
Don't suppose I could persuade you to unban him? Even temporarily?
Once, when the Sentinels were doing maintenance on the wall, a wyvern got in here. Took 3 suits to chase out of the men's toilet. Still caused less property damage than Boy Genius.
That can't be true. Either part.
All Arcanists are crazy, freelancer. That one's got enough crazy to fill 3 or 4 heads.
Anyway, everything going all right around here lately? No hearses or anything?
Doesn't work like that. Guy before Dusty, Xeno something, took over, Changed the name to the Black Emporium. 2 months later, hit by lightning. Inside the fort. Sentinels found him fried to a crisp and fused to his chair in the back room. Glitch crap just happens. You don't hear about it beforehand.
I see plenty of things in the jungle just as weird as that.
The further out into the frontier you go, the more glitched it gets. I'm not sweating it. Besides, this is the only spot to get a drink between Anthem and glitching Allheim. It's worth nearly as much as the city of Helios. I'm not giving that up for a scary story.
Hello, Brindle. How's the fort maintenance game?
It's challenging. People continue to ignore glaring safety issues. It's only a matter of time until someone is seriously injured.
Come on. Is it really that bad?
We have a cable problem. There are electrical cords and ropes strewn about all over the fort. This is a serious tripping hazard.
Really?
A mechanic tripped in the forge area yesterday and broke her thumb. That accident was 100% preventable.
Accidents are always going to happen. It's part of life.
That's the mindset I'm determined to change. I will implement a bylaw that requires people to properly bundle or store all loose rope and cable.
You want to make loose cords illegal?
Yes. And standing water.
Standing water? You mean puddles?
Standing water is a breeding ground for insects and should be cleared within a reasonable time after a rainfall. Puddles not only get your feet wet, they're another tripping hazard.
How will you bring in the bylaw?
I have a petition I expect you to sign.
Sure. I'll help make the fort a safer place.
Thank you, freelancer. This fort needs a good safety policy, and people like you will help make that happen.
You're welcome.
I'm hoping the bylaw will help people appreciate the dangers of loose cable and standing water.
Me too, Brindle.
They will, eventually. Did you know we're refurbishing the fountain?
That must be difficult.
It is. I'm very busy. That's why I need to cut this short. Goodbye.
This 会話全部なくなったかな。なんじゃないやろ。取った。 もう話の途中で寝よったっていう。いやー、前日健康診断で血抜かれて、それから全然回復してないからしんどいね。
Scars and acidic weapons. That's a combination I could do without.
Last thing we need are these bastards getting creative. Corvus said they've hit multiple caravans.
Speaking of Corvus, Hachi and Sev.
Freelancer, ready to put your javelin to the test?
Just a normal day in Bastion.
Well, what's not normal is the scar activity in this region. We think this is where they're making the acid.
Any idea how?
I want you to find that out and put a stop to it.
Freelancer, I'm detecting one.
Found the relic.
Scars have done something to it. It's gone volatile.
For those of us who don't speak Shaper, that's bad, right?
Obviously. Freelancer, you'll need to silence the relic.
Ah. 攻めすぎた。
That's a combination I could do without.
Last thing we need are these bastards getting creative. Corvus said they've hit multiple caravans.
Speaking of Corvus, Hachi and Sev.
Freelancer, ready to put your javelin to the test?
Just a normal day in Bastion.
Well, what's not normal is the scar activity in this region. We think this is where they're making the acid.
Any idea how?
I want you to find that out and put a stop to it.
Found the relic.
Scars have done something to it. It's gone volatile.
For those of us who don't speak Shaper, that's bad, right?
Obviously. Freelancer, you'll need to silence the relic.
Keep looking for the glowing things.
Echoes.
Right. Those.
あらー、
Scars and acidic weapons. That's a combination I could do without.
Last thing we need are these bastards getting creative. Corvus said they've hit multiple caravans.
Speaking of Corvus, Hatching and Seb.
Freelancer. Ready to put your javelin to the test?
Just a normal day in Bastion.
Well, what's not normal is the scar activity in this region. We think this is where they're making the acid.
Any idea how?
I want you to find that out. We'll put a stop to it.
Scars have done something to it. It's gone volatile.
For those of us who don't speak Shaper, that's bad, right?
Obviously. Freelancer, you'll need to silence the relic.
right. Those.
あら、ものすごい落とされた。すいません。これ俺通してくれる待ってた方が絶対いいなって思った。俺防いとって。
It looked like the scars were bringing eggs to the relic. The eggs were filled with acid. Could be using the relic to weaponize it.
Let's check the second relic. We got
見て
theories
る
for
人
the
楽し
test.
くないだろうな。
Relics up ahead.
This one's a lot more crowded.
Look, eggs everywhere. Your theory's got legs.
I'll pat myself on the back after I've dealt with the scars.